Democracy and aristocracy. With such safeguards in religion, in education, and in the ordering of family life, almost any of the traditional forms of government will serve. All forms have good and bad commingled in them, and are severally adapted to various conditions. Theoretically, the ideal form of government would be the centralization of all political power in the one best man. Homer is right. Bad is the lordship of many. Let one be your ruler and master. For such a man, law would be rather an instrument than a limit. For men of eminent ability there is no law. They are themselves a law. Anyone would be ridiculous who should attempt to make laws for them. They would probably retort what, in the fable of Antisthenes, the lions said to the hares when in the council of beasts the latter began haranguing and claiming equality for all. Where are your claws? But in practice, monarchy is usually the worst form of government, for great strength and great virtue are not near allied. Hence the best practicable polity is aristocracy, the rule of the informed and capable few. Government is too complex a thing to have its issues decided by number, when lesser issues are reserved for knowledge and ability. As the physician ought to be judged by the physicians, so ought men in general to be judged by their peers. Now does not this same principle apply to elections? For a right election can only be made by those who have knowledge. A geometrician, e.g., will choose rightly in matters of geometry, or a pilot in matters of navigation, so that neither the election of magistrates nor the calling of them to account should be entrusted to the many. The difficulty with hereditary aristocracy is that it has no permanent economic base. The eternal recurrence of the nouveau riche puts political office sooner or later at the disposal of the highest bidder. It is surely a bad thing that the greatest offices should be bought. The law which permits this abuse makes wealth of more account than ability, and the whole state becomes avaricious. For whenever the chiefs of the state deem anything honorable, the other citizens are sure to follow their example. The prestige imitation of modern social psychology. And where ability has not the first place, there is no real aristocracy. Democracy is usually the result of a revolution against plutocracy. Love of gain in the ruling classes tends constantly to diminish their number, Marx's elimination of the middle class, and so to strengthen the masses, who in the end set upon their masters and establish democracies. This rule by the poor has some advantages. The people, though individually they may be worse judges than those who have special knowledge, are collectively as good. Moreover, there are some artists whose works are best judged not by themselves alone, but by those who do not possess the art. E.g., the user or master of a house will be a better judge of it than the builder, and the guest will be a better judge of a feast than the cook. And the many are more incorruptible than the few. They are like the greater quantity of water, which is less easily spoiled than a little. The individual is liable to be overcome by anger or by some other passion, and then his judgment is necessarily perverted. But it is hardly to be supposed that a great number of persons would all get into a passion and go wrong at the same moment. Yet democracy is on the whole inferior to aristocracy, for it is based on a false assumption of equality. It arises out of the notion that those who are equal in one respect, e.g. in respect of the law, are equal in all respects. Because men are equally free, they claim to be absolutely equal. The upshot is that ability is sacrificed to number, while numbers are manipulated by trickery. Because the people are so easily misled and so fickle in their views, the ballot should be limited to the intelligent. What we need is a combination of aristocracy and democracy. Constitutional government offers this happy union. It is not the best conceivable government, that would be an aristocracy of education, but it is the best possible state. We must ask what is the best constitution for most states and the best life for most men, neither assuming a standard of excellence which will be above ordinary persons, nor an education exceptionally favored by nature or circumstance, nor yet an ideal state which will be only an aspiration, but having in mind such a life as the majority will be able to share, and a form of government to which states in general can attain. It is necessary to begin by assuming a principle of general application, namely, that that part of the state which desires the continuance of the government must be stronger than that which does not. And strength consists neither in number alone, nor in property alone, nor in military or political ability alone, but in a combination of these. so that regard has to be taken of freedom, wealth, culture, and noble birth, as well as of mere numerical superiority. Now, where shall we find such an economic majority to support our constitutional government? Perhaps best in the middle class. Here again we have the golden mean, just as constitutional government itself would be a mean between democracy and aristocracy. Our state will be sufficiently democratic if the road to every office is open to all, and sufficiently aristocratic if the offices themselves are closed except to those who have traveled the road and arrived fully prepared. From whatever angle we approach our eternal political problem, we monotonously reach the same conclusion: that the community should determine the ends to be pursued, but that only experts should select and apply the means. That choice should be democratically spread, but that office should be rigidly reserved for the equipped and winnowed best.